Hey everyone, it's Erin from Lady Be Collective and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I really wanted to talk about anxiety symptoms, and I feel like this video is really important because we've all heard of the usual anxiety symptoms, right? Like you panic, you feel like you can't breathe, you might be breathing faster, your heart's beating quick, you're sweating, you feel uncomfortable, you might be shaky. There are so many anxiety symptoms and we've all read about them and we all know about them. And I think when we see people exhibiting them, it becomes very real how scary and debilitating anxiety can be. But sometimes when you've had anxiety for a while or you have an anxiety disorder, the way you kind of portray your anxiety is different, and it can come across as though you have no anxiety at all. In fact, it could look like you might be lying about your anxiety and come across a little bit as all about yourself or arrogant or too good. And I was thinking about that the other day because people will say that to me, you know, you seem like you have a lot of confidence, or you seem like you have it together and that you don't have anxiety. And so when I would say I had anxiety in the past, or when I couldn't go somewhere because I would be with debilitating anxiety, I would be not able to leave my place, I would be crying, every little thing was anxiety all day long. I talk about this in other videos where there was a point where I couldn't leave for months and months. And people don't believe that because I did a few things, and I think other people do them as well, and they kind of were a way for me to feel better or maybe cover up my anxiety. So I wanted to go just through those few things right now. So maybe if you see somebody, you might think, you know, twice about the judgment on that, or, you know, it's called an invisible disease for a reason, and people do many different tricks and ways to not feel that way. And for a really long time, and there's still a stigma with it, you don't want to be known as the person that was anxious, and you kind of want to do all you can, because when you start to get anxious, then that's when panic arises, right? You almost give yourself your own panic attacks, and it can be very scary, especially if you're out in public or you're going somewhere. And so sometimes you don't always cope the best ways with that. And for me, for a while, and I just didn't want people to know I had anxiety. It just it was uncomfortable for me. I could feel it the whole time, and I was just hoping that other people didn't feel my anxiety, right? Because a lot of times I pick up on people's energy and I feel like that kind of energy as well, and it's not fun. So I just feel like there are a couple things that we do as anxiety sufferers, or we can, that I've noticed, at least that I do, that comes across a little bit different and makes people a little leery of when I say I have an anxiety disorder. So one of those is, I would say, taking pictures and taking selfies. So for a while, when I didn't leave the house, I didn't take any selfies, I didn't take any pictures, and then it just seemed like it was something that helped me cope. Like it helped me feel like you're gonna be okay, right? Like I wanted to make sure I still recognized myself, and there was something that made me feel empowered. And that sounds kind of weird, but when you can't leave your house, or you're in bed, or you're kind of anxious, and you just kind of have your phone and your camera, like I just would take pictures sometimes. Even when I didn't feel the greatest, you can see back in time, I'd always put like different Snapchat, like puppy filters or whatever, or I would just do like a few minute videos. Like it would just kind of be my way of showing that I'm okay. Like I'm okay. I used to do the same thing when like going to the doctor when you didn't feel good. It was like, if I got dressed and I put like a little bit of makeup, then I wasn't as sick as I could have been, or I might have been, right? So it kind of gives you this way to kind of feel like you're okay, you're gonna be okay, or at least it did for me. So when I would do that or change my profile or put pictures of me, I think that it comes across as sometimes maybe arrogant or gosh, that's a lot of selfies. And no one realizes the behind the scenes of that, right? So that's just one that I did that I think other people do as well, where they just want to feel good about themselves because they might not all day long. You just don't really know. And it helps them. And it does for me. A second one would be overconfidence. So sometimes when I'd be out, and this can kind of go along with the sarcasm, so kind of an overconfidence sarcasm, like I loved to make jokes, and I thought if people were laughing or we were talking about them, like asking questions about them and just being sarcastic and overly confident, that I would feel like I was okay and I was fitting in and I was the norm, and I can ask those questions about them and then be sarcastic, and no one would ever think that those are people with anxiety. Like that's just not what you think, right? Because there's kind of like a set form of like symptoms and how they are, and people match those up. So for me, that kind of threw people off because they would say I didn't have anxiety at all. And I think that that was a form of me kind of pretending to live in a world where I was overconfident and I was sarcastic. Now, don't get me wrong, there's times where I really do enjoy myself and I have good self-esteem, and I should, and everybody should, and I've always been a jokester, right, and sarcastic. That's just been me. But I would take it, and I do sometimes take it overboard. So that's something that now I watch for, but it was a way that really showed when I had a lot of anxiety as well. 3 would be over communicating, talking a ton. So anyone that knows me knows I do talk a lot. And at first I just thought I was a really talkative person, which I believe that I am. But a lot of time, I call it the word vomit, it helps to get the anxiety out, because it honestly feels sometimes like the anxiety is just stuck all within your system and you need to get it out. And that's why there's a lot of ways that people get out their anxiety. And for me, when I get really, really anxious, I get super talkative. And that usually is probably not a sign of what people think sometimes it is, but I just talk a ton. So again, I usually talk fast. I am a talker, but there's just a little bit more longevity and speed to my conversation when I'm really, really nervous, and which is with generalized anxiety a lot of the times a lot. And it's usually like the first 20-30 minutes too, where I'm kind of like getting used to my surroundings and the situation. So I don't know, I thought it would be important to talk about some of these things because we just don't see them in other people as anxiety symptoms, or even as depression symptoms, or mental health symptoms, or just that maybe they're going through a hard time. And I thought that it would be good to kind of talk about the ways that are more unconventional with how we kind of come across, or we can come across. So that's it for today. I would love for you to comment below and let me know ways in which maybe you know somebody or you yourself has anxiety or depression and you come across in ways that are not the typical symptoms. Let me know below. Like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and let me know if you want to hear more mental health as well. I do like a handful of wellness, but also health and mental health. So I don't know, I just want to know what you guys want. So let me know. In the meantime, check out my site. Go on Instagram. You could DM me whenever you want. Check out the Work With Me section of my site. I updated it. And that would be awesome to work together, just to maybe do projects together. I write. So if you need any of that, or you just want a little pep talk, or I don't know, just to feel a little bit better about yourself, I'm your girl. So I guess that's it. And I hope that you're having a wonderful Sunday. I hope if you're not, I hope that you do one or two little things just for you. And I hope you tell yourself that you are amazing, even that you don't feel like it, and that you are loved and you are capable and worthy and you are enough. And I did this morning for myself, and I know sometimes things feel lost and confused, but I think that all you could do is try to treat yourself right and try to get in the mindset. If you can't, it's just a day. Sometimes you just have those bad days. We have to get through them and move forward. So I hope to hear from you guys soon, and I will talk to you next week with a new topic. Oh yes, DM me or go to info@ladybcollective.com, or just in the comments and let me know other topics you want me to cover, and let me know what you think of the video. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.